All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited for an incredible webinar today, AI in sales and marketing. I have an incredible guest. I'm very excited. I think it's been a while in webinars. I've been a bit natural, but today there's a bit of excitement because we have the incredible Isabella Bedoya, which I'm going to introduce in a second. And maybe I'll tell my story after she introduces herself. So I'll bring her here as well. Isabella is here. Hello.
Hey Tim, thanks so much for having me.
Well, it's such a pleasure to have you. I'll let you do a quick intro about yourself, but I do have a bunch of stuff to say about you. So which one you prefer? You want to say hello first and intro yourself, and then I can say a bunch of great stuff about you?
Sure. Well, my name's Isabella Bedoya. A lot of people call me Izzy, and I'm the founder of MarketingPros.ai. Basically, what I do is I help other professionals and businesses integrate AI and AI solutions into their businesses.
Incredible, Izzy. Well, thank you, because I was going to ask, can I call you Izzy?
Yeah,
So Izzy and I met, I think it's been a year now, something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, time has flown, I think, for you as well, that growth and being so busy with your amazing content. So Izzy and I met at a webinar, and I had some flight delays. I was in Greece in an airport, and Izzy and I were chatting a lot about AI back then, and it was the early days of ChatGPT, and everybody was like still not knowing what to do. But Izzy since has, I think, turned ChatGPT inside out and many other AI tools and built an incredible brand around it and some great content. So Izzy, it's again, thank you so much for coming. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Amazing. And also, just because she didn't brag about herself, so I'm going to brag for you. She's helped about 50 plus companies, and I'm sure it's more now because this was the latest that I got on cool AI tools, making their marketing and sales teams more effective. And I know that you're into the voice AI, which I'm going to talk about, I think, soon. You've been featured on Forbes, on HubSpot, on Business Insider, and you were on a billboard in Times Square.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. When I saw that image, I was like, oh my God, this is not fake AI stuff. This is real.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really interesting. And Denny actually is asking if I'm the avatar or if it's really me. It's me.
this,
It's a
this
human.
is this is the real Izzy. I was lucky enough to actually get her to accept to come to this webinar. So I am very lucky to have her. And I think that everybody watching is lucky to have you here. Yeah. So Danny, yeah, Izzy is the bomb. We can put those comments here as well. Here we go. Danny, Izzy is the bomb. We know, and we're so excited to have her here. You have an incredible audience now. I think it's gone up over 41K, maybe something like that.
I think it's a little below that.
Okay.
Yeah, not sure how much exactly, but I think it's just shy under 40.
Yeah, amazing. And great impressions, amazing content. I know because it's very raw material. You share your screen, you show exactly how you build stuff, and you're very, very transparent with your success as well. And I think that inspires people a lot. So thank you for that, because it inspires me as well.
Thank you.
Amazing. Well, let's get into some questions. But again, this is an informal chat. I just want to talk about the coolest things in AI and marketing and sales. But can you share a moment when you first realized that AI was going to change the game in marketing and sales?
That's a really good question. My first encounter with AI, AI I think has been around for like a while. It just got really popular when OpenAI was like, here's ChatGPT. But I've used Copy AI and like I've used other AI tools back in the day, and really what was like a big pivotal moment for me was in 2022 when I was launching an offer around video marketing and creating TikTok style videos, and especially adding those like Alex Hormozy captions before they became like super popularized. I remember at the time when I was launching this offer, I had a lot of interest from clients. So I said, okay, if I have interest, I'll build it. So I started looking at different, like actual human video editors, and they were charging me like $45 an hour. And just to edit one TikTok, it was going to take them like 6 to 8 hours. So like a whole workday for one TikTok. And if we have to provide 20 videos a month per client, you can already imagine that's not a scalable offer, right? You're going to need a lot of manpower, and it's going to be super expensive that most likely the people that I was working with are not going to buy it. So, um, what I ended up doing is I started searching for like video editing tools, and I came across Captions AI, and I came across a few others, and I realized that with Captions AI specifically, you could upload your TikTok videos or whatever it was, and it would like create the captions. It would do all the edits. Now it's become more advanced. Captions is even more advanced, but it would do all the edits, and all of a sudden now the caption subscription at that moment, it was like $65 for the whole year instead of $45 an hour times 8 hours per video. So it just kind of makes sense, and I tried that, I tested that, and then all of a sudden we were able to do work for clients using AI video editors. We were able to do like a whole month worth of their content in like 4 or 5 hours, so we could actually bring in more clients. So that was my first encounter, and that's when I thought, okay, things are really going to change. When ChatGPT came out, I just went all in on it.
Wow, incredible. Yeah, I remember the early days of Copy. I used to use Copy AI as well. I think Copy was better than Jasper. Was it Jasper back then? Then they changed, I think, their name or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, and Copy was always better. And there was Smart Copy, and then Unbounce bought Smart Copy. I don't know if you remember that. I was really into these early days as well. And obviously Grammarly, right? So we had Grammarly for a while. I've been using Grammarly Premium for so long, and that had AI, but it wasn't cool and trendy to say that you had AI, right? It was geeky
Yeah.
and too techy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, funny enough, like I think it was about 6, 7 years ago, I was working for a computer vision company, and we were doing image recognition for real estate, and that was AI, and nobody would understand it. It wasn't cool. And then I forgot about all that stuff. And then when ChatGPT came out, as you were saying, I got obsessed about it. You know, I couldn't sleep many nights, and my wife was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna lose my husband to ChatGPT." Oh, incredible. Okay. So yeah, I could talk about that because I think you had that wow moment as well, and you know, and you
Yeah.
really built a whole business around it, and you really, as you said, you went all in, which is incredible. So just going a little bit onto AI in marketing and sales. I know we talked about it a little bit, but what's the big advantage of using AI in marketing and sales that you think doesn't get enough attention today?
The biggest thing, I think, honestly, you know, I think just going to the basics, just understanding what it's capable of doing. Because in the last couple of weeks, I've seen a lot of CEOs post on Facebook saying, or not on Facebook, LinkedIn. I don't know where
Hmm.
Facebook came from.
Yeah, well,
Um,
goodbye Facebook.
yeah, but I've seen a lot of CEOs post on LinkedIn recently saying how much ChatGPT is like trash, or someone posted recently something along the lines that it's considered cheating, and all these
Hmm.
different things. And I think it's like a huge misconception, right? Because one of the quotes that really resonates with me is Mark Cuban when he's explaining the impact of AI in business, and he says in the future there's going to be two types of businesses: those that know AI and everybody else. So, and then you look at like these giant companies, and they're investing like, 500 million plus into AI developments, and you see like, like the top four finance companies, and then you see that with like Amazon and all these different companies. And so like something is definitely there, otherwise these giants wouldn't be investing millions and millions into it if it was just a fad. um, so I think like just going back to the basics and just having a full understanding of how to actually using it. Um, Someone said in the comments, it says LinkedIn user, so I don't know who said it, but that's exactly right. Like start with AI, but end with human intelligence. I think like that's probably one of the best things that you could do, because that the other critical component is once you use AI, people don't read the output, and then they forget about using their own brain and their own critical thinking to making sure that it's actually something valuable, right? So yeah, I think just going back to the basics, understanding it goes beyond ChatGPT. It's not just ChatGPT. It goes beyond that. There's tools, and also knowing how to integrate them into your company without causing so much issues. Like we've already seen some stuff on the news with like the lawyer that used
Mm.
ChatGPT, right? or someone frustrated was just under fire about using AI. So yeah, just learn how to use it. I think going back to the basics.
Yeah, no, very well said, and I think that very interesting because it's definitely not a fad because we also saw it when I think GPT OpenAI started to do things with Shopify and a bunch of other companies, and that was on their website, and you were like, oh, okay, if these companies are adopting OpenAI, especially, right, this is not even the future anymore. This is today. This is the present, and that was the moment as well. I was like, oh my god, we have to dig into this, and I love the quote that you said from Mark Cuban because yeah, and I tell all my team now, like, we use AI. We got to use AI today because if not, we're gonna be a part of those people that doesn't use it.
Hmm.
And it's not like I think blockchain, that was cool for a while, and then that disappeared a little bit. I know still blockchain exists, of course, but AI today, and especially as you said, when you go back to the basics, and you could do really basic stuff that you were doing that were taking you 2 or 3 hours a day, and now it takes you 20 minutes a day. When you
Yeah.
see that, you're like, oh shit, this is really cool.
Yeah, that's what I've experienced whenever I'm like showing someone how to use ChatGPT. That it's like that aha moment. Like once you make it relevant for them, and
Mm.
they experience that like, whoa, that AI just did that. That's usually what then gets them hooked on AI.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's that wow moment, and that wow moment, some people doesn't even want to see that wow moment. But with my team, I realized I'm like, here's your task, here's a prompt for it. Can you instead do it with ChatGPT today? And they do it, and they're like, oh, okay, that's supposed to take me a few hours, and now I've done it in 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, that's it. And they're like, okay. And then the next day, they're like, so how do you do this now with ChatGPT, right? And I love when they come back. Like I think Eileen, like I remember when Eileen started, and then I was like, ChatGPT, ChatGPT. Eileen's my executive assistant, and now she's getting into our marketing department because she's been so successful, and she adopted AI so quickly that it was really for the rest of the team to be like, oh, okay. Well, I think we all have to test this out, but at the end of the day, it's a benefit. And I have a very interesting use cases. Like I went to the garage for the mechanics for my car. He couldn't figure out something. I asked ChatGPT, and I even took a picture of the engine and I sent it. And it even told me what to do. And I told the mechanic, and it was like, oh shit, like, how do you know this? Did you have any moment like that is has nothing relevant with sales and marketing? I know this wasn't at all in our agenda, but I'm very curious if you have a moment that you could share like that.
Yeah, I think I've experienced that in a lot of different industries just because I've like showed other people how to use it. So, for example, a mechanic story, I was showing my dad how to use it, and then he figured out, all his manuals, all the stuff that he needed for his job. It was all there, and so that was cool. I've had it create like songs for other people, just
Yeah.
like I don't know. I think it was like write a song in the voice of like Bad Bunny for like someone cleaning a house. Like it's been really fun also, um, but it's really interesting to see how far you can take it because outside of like marketing and sales, another use case has also been using it for like business strategy and business advice,
Mm.
and that's also been like super important just because before I would work with a lot of consultants, and I understand humans are humans and like that they're irreplaceable, but I used to work with a lot of consultants, and I realized that a lot of the advice that I got was also kind of biased to their experience.
Mhm.
Whereas now, when I was like using ChatGPT to get like a full picture and like advice on like what to do and all of that, it actually performed a lot better just because I was able to like tell it like full picture, not be cut off by any consultant like assuming what I'm doing, right? Just tell it the full picture and then keep a running log of like what's going on. And the probably the coolest part is that I didn't have to wait for once a week to talk to it. I could just sit there, and anytime I have a
Mm.
question I just pop it into the thread, and it's been amazing. So I've used it a lot in like a lot of different scenarios, but it never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, yeah. I love how you said that. Yeah, and like one of my latest use cases is when I drive, I just put it on my CarPlay, and instead of listening to music, I have ChatGPT and I just talk to it, and then I have a 20 minute drive, and then at the end of it, I have a whole marketing strategy or Q2 for my company, and I'm like,
That's awesome.
oh, yeah, that was a good drive. Yeah.
It's like a meeting. It's like you look at ChatGPT as another employee in your team.
Yeah, exactly. When even if you're washing dishes, doing the laundry or anything, like people forget that they think they have to be on their computer, and it's no, like especially with the voice stuff, it's just And also the coolest things coming now with the button, and you'll be able to talk to it wherever you are, and it's just gonna do it in
So
the cloud.
cool.
Oh my god, yeah, I can't wait for them, right?
That's so cool. I love how much it like evolves and how fast it evolves.
Yeah, I can really see that you're as excited as I am, and potentially even more, because you really are right into the whole ecosystem. And like, how about GPT-5? Like, we've heard the rumors. I'm sure you watched Lex Friedman and Sam Altman's latest conversation. What do you think? Where are we going?
That's a good question. I think I don't know, but I do think that like the future of AI is gonna transcend just this chatbot. I think the future of AI is gonna be more into we're already starting to see it in some companies where they're doing like digital workers.
Hmm.
Um and it's not just like it's also using like different chips. Like I'm not really like too technical in the whole AI space, but I do understand that like it does. I think there's a chip called Gong that just came out. That's for example,
Hmm.
that's providing like instant um, voice, right? So there's not a lot of delays and stuff like that. So I do think that in the next few years we're going to see digital workers, agents. Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of that, and people like not people, but like AI that just integrates into your business and act as an employee. You can talk to it. It can talk back to you. You can chat with it. It can chat back. Like it can just take autonomous activity without human intervention. I think that in the business space, at least, that's like the future of it. Um, and then everything else is kind of just I guess speculation until it really comes out. Like another thing that they keep promoting, I think, is Soma.
Yeah.
I always get the name wrong. Is it Soma? It's Soma,
Sora,
right? The
Sora,
Sora. Yeah,
Sora.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sora. So Sora, the video generation. I mean, that alone, I've seen some clips and I've seen how they're also prompting it for, uh, what is it like the voiceover as well, and like
Hmm.
I saw the short film that they released yesterday with the balloon.
Yeah,
Um,
incredible.
yeah, and it's like the music is down, the voiceover is down. Like this is gonna revolutionize the entertainment industry.
Well, yeah, I think the audio effects that they were doing on top of it, and I think 11 Labs was doing that. But I heard also they didn't want to release Sora because of the U.S. elections and all the deep fakes and stuff. They were a bit worried about that because they don't know how to control that yet. And I think same thing with GPT-5, right? What I believe is that GPT-5 has been ready for a bit and they're testing and stuff, but I think it's too much of a mind-blowing thing for humanity that some of the humans will panic. And I mean,
Mm.
we had even panic when GPT 3.5 came, or GPT-3 came, and then GPT-4. People were like, so, some people went in the streets in London, and they're like, we don't want AI, we don't want AI, kind of thing, right?
Oh,
So when GPT-5 comes, I think that's we're gonna have a lot of drama, chaos in the world. I do believe it.
yeah. But I think also it depends on like mindset shifts, right? And I
Mm,
understand like not everyone has the capability. Maybe it's like too late in the career or whatever it is.
mm,
But I do think that the best way to stay in front of this is to just adapt to it like faster, right? Those who are actually learning how to use AI now, you're going to be able to capitalize. You're going to be able to be at the forefront of it. AI is going to replace some jobs, like that is the reality of it. But it's also going to create new jobs because you need new people to now learn how to use these machines so
mhm,
machines can do the work. So if anything, it's probably going to be more meaningful and more impactful work rather than just like paper pushing. Uh, KPMG just did something where KPMG they installed like AI processes in a lot of their activities. So
mhm,
when a student comes out of college and goes to work at KPMG, like the new associates fresh out of college, they're now able to skip the first 3 years of their career and they're
mhm,
now touching work and they're doing work that they would have never done unless they were like 3 years at KPMG. So it's already accelerated people fresh out of college working at KPMG. So imagine the impact, right? Um,
mhm.
it's not all doom and gloom, but it's also like look at the opportunity that can come from it. And I think if you maintain that perspective, it's not going to be as I don't know, it's not going to be as harsh as what some people will experience if you stay on the opposite side of it.
No, no. I mean, I was reading the other day, and I loved that quote. It was, when the camera came out, the artists were all very worried, but then photography became um, a whole new art, right? So
That's
it's
true.
kind of that as well. So I do believe that. Also, I think humans, we do work in sometimes a lot of mundane tasks that are very low cognitive, that we shouldn't be focusing on, because we're supposed to be smarter than that. And I think that what I see is we're going to focus on more high cognitive stuff, and hopefully that's going to make us solve bigger problems in the world.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, well, great things are coming. Yeah, but
Yeah.
GPT-5, I bet it's going to be around June or something like that. And I had great summer plans, but I know what's going to happen is just it's going to come out, and I'm not going to sleep, and I'm going to be on GPT-5 all day, all every night. So good luck to us.
That's probably what will happen. And then someone out there will put like a course on like how to use ChatGPT 5 in 24 hours and everyone will buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Make money, and
I
then you're
wonder
gonna.
who it
Oh,
will be though.
yeah, yeah, very well said. Yeah, absolutely. But interesting, because just coming back, what you're saying, about the founders and the CEOs, they were saying, or the entrepreneurs, I think you were saying that finds it a bit crap, and I have a joke, but it's almost true. It's like it's my BFF. ChatGPT is my best friend forever, and it's like don't say bad things about it. I get upset. I really get upset because people don't know how to use it. And I think that the quality of what you input to it is the quality of the output you get. So if you just say, hey, create me a LinkedIn post about this, you're going to get a LinkedIn post about that. That's it, right? But if you say, ask me the right question, ask me about my story, ask me about all the tools, ask me this and that, it's not, people think in 2 minutes you can get something out of it. Yes, you can, but it's going to be a 2 minute work. But if you spend 20 minutes, that's when you really start seeing the couple of hours of normal work that you would do. How do you see that? Like, I know you have a lot of prompting and stuff, but what are a couple of quick tips that you might want to give here for people using ChatGPT and inputting it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like garbage in, garbage out. And if your outputs are like the responses that you're getting are too generic, chances are you didn't give it enough information in the beginning. Um, the prompt structure that I use is pretty much uh, it's act as, so then you insert whatever role you want it to take on, ghostwriter, award winning, sales copywriter, whatever it is. Give it like an expert role, so act as a expert role, and then give it like the overview of like what you're gonna do, right, like the goal. So act as a expert copywriter, you're going to create a LinkedIn post, and then that's after you give it like the overview or like the goal, that's when you share all of your step-by-step information, all of
Mm,
your kind of like your rules, your guidelines. So then, for example, that's where you would say the post is going to be about, X, Y, and Z. Make sure that it includes, X, Y, and Z. It sounds like this. It's in this tone. If you want, you can also include an example. Like this is an example of a good post. This is an example of a bad post. Pay attention to the formatting, stuff like that. And then you would just end it with like limitations, right? Like don't
mm-hmm.
do. Here's what you can't do, and like all the things it can't do and it can do, like the rules essentially, and then after that just the formatting. How do you want the output in markdown and bullet points, whatever it is. So instead of just saying, write me a LinkedIn post about puppies, you're writing something a little bit more in depth. So it's like giving a creative brief. Like if you go to a VA, like a virtual assistant, right, and you're like, hey, create me a logo, and you don't give it any information, they're just gonna come up with like all these designs, and then you're gonna think most of them are trash because you didn't give them any input. But if you talk to ChatGPT in that same lane, right, of like, here is my creative brief, go have fun with it. Excuse me, go have fun with it, and then you don't have to pay them hourly, right? that's like that's what ChatGPT can do.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that a lot of people are going to find value out of that. But very interesting because just going back again, is it's most of it is free, right? And the biggest package is $20 a month on a personal level, 25 yearly, monthly paid, but an annual for teams, and 30 if you pay monthly. So it's not even expensive for the things that it does. You know.
Yeah, it's not, but it's interesting because even if you just get the $20 a month version, right? Even if you just stay on ChatGPT 4, it's really interesting how many people don't want to pay that $20.
It's crazy. It's crazy. People are still complaining. We see posts on LinkedIn that says, "Don't pay $20 for chat. There's free alternatives," and those free alternatives, most of them are crap. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
and it's like the hooks, right? Everybody on LinkedIn needs a hook, so they're like, "ChatGPT is crap." And when I read that post, I'm like, "It's not crap," And I even joke sometimes. I'm like, if OpenAI would ban anyone that said ChatGPT is crap, it would be very interesting. Nobody else would say that again.
That would be interesting, but yeah, I mean, I just think people don't know how to use it, and the second that they learn, they realize, oh wow, it's more than just, um, whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody said, don't pay $20 or something, and then it was a hook, obviously. Then I said, I'll pay $200, and because the value of it is even more, right?
Absolutely.
Especially when you use it right, like you do, like I do. I spend 3-4 hours a day on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really impactful. Like, from all the excuse me, from all the activities, if you were to do the math, for example, if it's doing my consultant type of work where it's consulting me, that's at least like anywhere from like $1,000 to $5,000 a month saved, right? Then you're looking at if it's helping me write my LinkedIn posts.
Hmm.
Even if you work with a ghostwriter, you're still gonna have to edit it. Like, it's not like the ghostwriter sends you a final version and you're like, all right, let's go with it, right? So you're still gonna fix it to sound like you. So ghostwriter is gonna cost you anywhere from like $3,000 plus. There's people that charge like $10,000 a month for that. So $20 in comparison to like the activities, the high value, high impact activities that I'm having it do is pennies. It makes total sense to just invest the $20 a month.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And something very interesting as well is that you're calculating all that, but at the end of the day, even if you give feedback to that ghostwriter, right? That ghostwriter is not going to be able to implement that feedback for the next post. But now with, I think, the ChatGPT memory, I don't know if you have access to it. I don't have it access yet. If you
I
have
think we
access,
all have access now with ChatGPT 4.
no. So the memory that is going to be across the whole workspace, and then it's going to
Oh yeah, I
start.
don't have that yet.
Yeah, because I saw my wife's doctor has it, and he didn't know, he was on the free version. I said, "Yeah, pay. It's amazing." He paid for it, and then he showed me. I was like, "How do you have memory? I've been in it like so long." And he has memory, and memory is it's a new feature. They're still beta testing with a few users, where it would learn if you say, "I don't like it when you say this," and it just puts it in its memory all the time. So across your whole workspace, it'll know all the things you like and you don't like.
That's
And then the
amazing.
memory is also coming per GPT. So the GPTs, as more you use those custom GPTs, the more they're going to learn from the task that's done. So if the quality is 80% now and you have to edit 20%, it's going to be 90, 95, hopefully close to 99, and maybe even 100 one day.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more on the technical side. I think I coded back in the day, so I'm a little geeky on the, like, that's why I don't make as great content. I don't have time. I'm like learning all the whole thing and testing new tools every day. I don't know. I'm obsessed with it, as I mentioned. Amazing. So I derailed a little bit from our agenda because it's an amazing conversation to have with you about how you use it and how you see what's going to happen with it. But so a little bit on about, if you can share with us like a tough AI project that you worked on for a company and how you really turned that into a big win for that company.
So I think probably the most impactful right now is well, I mean, I think a couple of things, but the most impactful right now is AI agents. The AI voice agents, this is technology that, you can actually, the way that we have them set up, at least, you can have them call out or also receive calls. So if you have someone, for example, let's just say they opt into your email list or whatever the case is, you can set up an automation for that AI agent to call that lead immediately or like within 2 minutes. So in marketing and sales, there's this concept called speed to lead, right? So the thing is that you have to make sure that you're actually, when someone opts in, you got to make sure that you have some touch points so that they actually you answer them within the first 5 minutes. If you answer those leads within 5 minutes or later, the likelihood that they actually end up buying something is very, very low. It like almost disappears. So speed to lead is probably one of the most important things because you got to make sure that you capture people and you actually talk to them almost immediately as soon as they opt into your page. Now, if you're sleeping at like 3 in the morning and someone opts into your page or whatever, like your ad or whatever it is, and someone opts in, you're probably not going to catch them, right? You're probably not going to do that unless you have an automation in place, like sending out an email, sending out an SMS campaign or whatever. So what the voice agents can do is they can actually call out anyone that is opting in for your stuff and just do basic discovery to see if there's any opportunity where you could actually schedule a sales call. Now, obviously, it's not going to call you at 3 in the morning. You have to respect like your local laws of when you can call, but but that's essentially what it does. So it calls, it does appointment setting, it can qualify leads, and this is something that we've been implementing for businesses. So it's been really interesting how other businesses are either growing their sales team, augmenting their sales team. Some people like didn't have a sales team before, now they have a sales team because of the AI. So it really just depends on like those use cases. But no, I think we've had like a lot of impact across many different things. Like another use case was we were making carousels for companies, and we were LinkedIn carousels. We were using ChatGPT for like the ghostwriting. Uh, it wasn't terrible ghostwriting. We actually like created this whole prompt sequence so it could create
Hmm.
the hook, and it would actually be really quality content. I think I gave away one of those GPTs for free on
Hmm.
LinkedIn. So it's just like stuff like that that we're actually able to create an impact, whether it's improving their sales with the AI agents or improving their marketing with the carousels. We built the funnel builder AI that helped. I think that helped close to like 50 companies actually build their funnels pretty fast.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's just a lot of those kinds of activities, and it's been fun.
Yeah, I follow you very closely on LinkedIn, and I know you share everything, so I can see that you're having fun with it. And so, but right now, I think AI voice agents for you is a big thing with your team. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. AI voice agents. I mean, it's just like incredible. About 3 months ago, last quarter, it kind of just started becoming a little bit more mainstream, but I think the technology was like overhyped for what it was. Back then, last quarter at least, it was like a lot of delays, laggy. Uh, Maybe it didn't follow the script or whatever it is. In the past 3 months, the improvements have been so night and day. Like everything has changed so much that now it's finally the time that we can actually start implementing these into businesses. And I think also speaking about that, when you're using AI, something that everyone should keep in mind, this is new technology, right? Like this is conversational AI. I don't know how long it's been around for, but at least probably like 6 months is when I 6 months ago is when I got involved, and that was still pretty early.
Hmm.
So it's been around maybe for like I don't know, maybe like a year or less. So it's a new technology. You're gonna experience bugs, and I think that part of the innovation is like going through with all of that, right? Making sure that you're the one also um, figuring out how to fix those bugs and pioneering how to use it and all of that.
Yeah, when you say bugs, I mean, team members can be sick. They don't show up to work. They have a hangover, and then they say the wrong stuff. So AI will do a little bit of that, and I think that very quickly, though, we're fixing those bugs, and I think the growth curve of the development is so fast that something that was buggy last week is not buggy this week, and then next week it's gonna be even more incredible. So it's very interesting to be
Absolutely.
at the forefront, and I see you as one of the person at the forefront, and keep sharing what you do because it's I'm sure a lot of people are learning from it, even myself. Amazing. So we spoke a lot about ChatGPT, a bit about AI voice agents and so on. There's so many AI tools out there. I know a little bit your tool stack because I think you did a post about it and so on. But I'm very curious, how do you pick the right one for different marketing and sales needs, the right AI tools?
So there's a lot of tools, and a lot of tools are coming out daily. We're gonna see even more because it's so easy to build tools now. Um, my particular favorite tools, I just keep it like I really like to keep it very simple. I think I had kind of like that shiny object syndrome in the beginning where I was just like, I gotta try all the tools, I gotta use all the tools, and part of staying on top of AI is actually like learning and testing. But if you're just like a marketer, right, or if you're just like whatever professional role you have, just pick your stack and go deep. Like get really good at that because they're also going to be updating as AI evolves. Um, I use ChatGPT. I recently tested a lot with like Claude and Gemini and all that just to see what it's all about. But I really, really, really just enjoy ChatGPT. I love the custom GPTs that you can do that. I have a bunch of custom GPTs. Like those are probably my favorite feature of ChatGPT. I use Go High Level. It's an all-in-one marketing and
Hmm.
sales CRM. This is the one that we use with our clients, and we build a funnel builder, automated funnel builder in there, so we can actually onboard our clients a lot faster. I use HeyGen. Someone asked earlier in the
Yep.
chat. I can't remember who it was, but someone asked earlier about the Tracy. Yeah, Tracy. Tracy asked about the how do I build avatars. So I'm using HeyGen. It's very very simple. You just open up HeyGen, then you just grab your phone, record a 2-minute video of yourself just talking, just no script, just talking. Uh, don't include a lot of hand motions in the video because the avatar will then start using like all these hand motions in the generated video. But HeyGen for that, and then Canva is amazing. I use Canva for graphics, carousels, everything. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything, but that's kind of the basic. Then Cyble's really good for sales calls recording. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything, but that's kind of like the at least the main bulk of it right now.
Thank you for sharing that, and I'm glad that you said that about ChatGPT because a lot of people are like, "Oh, Claude 3." I'm like, haha. See when GPT-5 comes out. Let's see. Let's see who's gonna be the winner.
Yeah.
I think none of them are gonna exist. They're gonna be like, "Oh no," they're gonna be so sad when they see GPT-5. It's funny. It's funny, but yeah, do use whatever you want to use, but go deep in it, as you said. I think learn it well, because as you learn it well, as you go deep in it, your output, the stuff that you can achieve with it, becomes really good quality, and most of the time even better than what I could achieve, because I let it interview me, and ask me the right questions. But it's still your brain, you still answer it, but it really puts it all together. And I think that's very, very important. Hey, somebody said, would you clarify HeyGen and go to, it's Go High Level. It's the CRM tool that Izzy mentioned. We use also Go High Level. HeyGen is HeyGen with a G, yes, but it's almost HeyGen like that. And then somebody asked about Mid-Journey. Do you use any image generation at the moment?
I did
Apart
play
Canva.
around with it a lot, but honestly, I don't use it a lot for image generation. Maybe I'll use Sora a lot for the videos. That sounds really interesting. But for the stuff that I do, I haven't really had a big need for image generation. Um, However, if you do want to learn image generation, I think Rory Flynn and Drew
Yeah.
Bucker are like amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought Rory's whole package and stuff, and I, like, for many nights I was just like, wow, the things you can
Yeah.
do with Mid Journey. And MJ Mid Journey has been my 2024 tool, to be honest. 2023 was my ChatGPT year. 2024 has started really with Mid-Journey, V6, because V1 was really bad until 3, 4 even was bad. 5, hands and fingers were still really bad, and I was like, oh, this is crap. I don't want to deal with that. And then
Yeah.
6, like, oh my lord! And now with consistent characters, so it's just, and it's still early days as well. And I can't wait for the day that when Mid-Journey comes into text to video, because they're coming to video generation
That
anytime.
would be awesome.
So that's going to compete with Sora for sure.
That would be awesome. Yeah, cause when you get into like, so I never really like went too deep into the whole video image. I should have, but
Hmm.
I honestly just you only have so much time in the day.
Yeah.
But I know that you can do like also I think Runway ML. You can do like some really
Yeah.
cool stuff, and like Adobe. You can also do some really cool stuff with that. Um, yeah, I mean image generation is incredible.
Yeah, no, it is, and I have to go deep into these because that's what we do at Task, right? So we learn all this stuff. I learn all these stuff, then I create systems, processes, and then train our VAs so that our VAs can help other founders with this. And to be honest, it's a passion anyways, right? So I'm very happy to keep testing new tools. But yeah, image gen, I think, was very early days last year. Right now it's, I think, quite good. Runway ML, it's okay, but I still do believe whatever Mid Journey is going to bring next, it's just going to kill a lot of the competition. So you'll potentially have OpenAI and all the things, text and agents and stuff like that, and I think you're going to have a lot of Mid Journey in image, video, and in video, of course, with Sora. OpenAI is going to have some competition. But what we've seen is, when you think about Dolly 3, right, which we have inside ChatGPT, it's okay, and it's going to do a lot of the work for a lot of the marketeers. But if you really want to go artistic, creative, and really push the boundaries of what is art and realism, this type of stuff, then Midjourney is your go-to tool. And this is why I think you mentioned Rory, and it's just like the stuff they do is just like, oh my, how do you do this? It's incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's insane.
Yeah, I hope we'll get those as guests as well. Those amazing people here as guests as well, and show some image stuff. But let's go back into voice AI, because I know that's what you guys are working on. And you mentioned about what was it, speed to lead? Correct.
Speed to lead,
That's
yeah.
the KPI that you mentioned. Um, so how can these voice AI keep things personal for the customers or for the leads?
Yeah, so when it comes to voice AI, there's or like at least conversational AI, there's a big misconception in the marketplace that that AI agents is the same thing as just having an automated dialer and an automated caller and read a script. With generative AI, conversational AI, what it's using, it's generative AI, so it can actually hold a conversation. So it's not this whole thing of like, um, if someone calls, for example, and you're like, "Hey, we are a landscaping company, and do you have are you interested in getting your grass mowed or whatever?" And then the client says, "No, I'm not interested." Then the caller, right, the whatever the automated thing would say, "Okay, great, how's Monday at 4?" Like, it didn't analyze what you said. With generative AI, it's like, "Okay, I see, may I ask why not?" Like, it'll actually hold a conversation. And then it's interesting too, because we one of the things we ran was an election type of thing. It was just a research poll for a company that does research, and they were just kind of like surveying the audience to see the residents in an area to see what how they were going to vote and stuff like that. And it was it was funny because we had to figure out how to prompt it, because it was giving its opinion after, for example, if it asked like, what's your race, and you give your race, then it would give you an opinion about what the AI thought about you being that race. And it's like, okay, we got to fix that. We can't really have that
Yeah,
happening.
100%.
So yeah. So it's like it really all boils down to prompt engineering. But um but voice AI is really interesting because there's maybe like four tools in the market right now. And I think probably like the biggest thing is just really learning how to prompt it. It's a little bit different than ChatGPT. Uh because for conversational AI, and this is if you're getting into audio or video, you really have to spell out the words. So like you can't just put dollar sign, or you can't just put like 7 p.m. You would have to spell out like dollar sign, like all spelled out. You would have to write out the word seven, and then you would have to put like PEEEMM, like, right, so like the AI knows that you're saying 7 p.m. And just like little tricks like that, and like you just learn all these different like tricks. And like I said in the beginning, like I'm not technical by nature, but just diving so much into the AI space, I feel like it's now becoming kind of like a a skill that I'm picking up on, just because I have to learn so much. But yeah, conversational AI is awesome. You can train it on whatever script. You can then install like what's called a knowledge base. The knowledge base is just your FAQs, your objection handling questions, your company information, all of that. So when you're having a conversation with the AI agent, you can ask it anything, anyone can ask it anything about a company, and it'll be able to answer based on the knowledge base. So that's probably the most important thing of the whole setup.
Incredible, thank you. Yeah, and I think that even those tricks that you're doing today, I think they'll realize that these are things to fix almost, or to make it easier for people. So today, I know that you even make sure to geek out and understand how to prompt better. But I think in a couple of weeks' time, even PM is going to be just PM, hopefully,
Yeah.
because it's they're learning a lot from how we use it as well. And I think this is why I love it. They release very quickly, and now finally it's very it's a very real iterative process now. They release it, we make mistakes and we use it really badly, but then we figure out how to use it better. And then developers and companies that have developed these amazing technologies, they watch us, our usage, and they're like, oh, okay, so humans wants to use it like that. And they just patch it together and give an update, and then things get better for us and easier. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Okay. So since we're talking about voice AI, and that's quite the boundaries of AI at the moment, but what do you think is the next big thing in AI for a better customer experience and more personalization and so on, that businesses should get ready for?
I really think I think the next phase really is going to be in digital workers.
Hmm.
We're already starting to see it with custom GPTs and with agents, but I really do think like the next phase is going to be digital workers, the type of company that uh, you have a, let's say that you have, for example, a custom GPT, but this custom GPT only lives on ChatGPT and can only do whatever you prompt it with. I think the future of AI is actually integrating it to your tools and figuring out like what setting it to like do actual tasks, right? If it needs to message you on Slack every day at like 9 a.m. to see what the tasks are and just like a real employee, then that's how you set it. But I do think digital workers is going to be the next big thing. And I don't know how far we are from like launching that. I think it's like around the corner, but I do see that as like the near future. And it doesn't just stop at text. I think that's the most important part. Like it's going to be to the point where you can talk to it. It might even right now we all have AI recorders that show up on our Zoom, right? It's just a black box with your name or the Fathom note taker, whatever. Um, I think what we're going to see also in the near future is probably those are actually like AI avatars and not just black boxes, right? So I do think that it's going to be a whole new wave of I guess like digital workers, AI employees, and for companies specifically, knowing how to integrate that without all of the risks is going to be very important.
Absolutely. And, I love how you say digital workers. I say AI agents, but digital workers, employees, same thing. Team members, have you tried Lindy.ai yet?
I don't think so. What's it called?
Lindy.ai, Lindy.ai. Check it out for everybody here if you get access to it. If you don't, easy, let me know. I'll get you access. Hopefully, I'll
This is
I'll
really
tell them
cool.
that
I'll check it out.
they should give you access. Yeah, it has the triggers of calendar, as you were saying. At 9 a.m. it asks me about my to-dos. I give it my to-dos. It prioritizes it, puts in my calendar. Every morning it analyzes all my meetings and it says, "Hey, this is the meetings you have. You know these people, but you don't know these people." So it's almost already like, I mean, it's quite technical still. It's very difficult to get what you want out of it, but it's incredible because it's like the GPTs where when in a chat ourselves we tag different GPTs to do different things in one thread. Here they have the thing called delegation. So one agent can actually transcribe the whole YouTube and create a summary or an idea for a blog and pass it on to another agent automatically, delegate it, and the other one delegates it, the other one delegates it, and it automatically can even upload it because it has a bunch of integrations and stuff like that.
Wow, this is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. I thought you'd like it if you don't know
Thank
it
you.
about it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna
that's
check that out
fine.
after.
That's why, this is why we have to chat more often, Izzy, because I know a couple of things as well.
No, this is awesome.
Yeah, like I'm betting big time on Lindy.ai. I think the founder Flo, he's quite innovative and he has an amazing vision. There's a bunch of other tools like that, but I think they're really at the forefront of it. You have also, um, there's another one I forgot now. Tool Flow. I'm gonna call it Tool Flow, but I'm not sure. So don't
Sure.
take me up for it. Yeah, I can send it to you later. But Lindy is my favorite at the moment in that space.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check. Is it Flutterflow? Someone told me about that one the other day.
Flutterflow, it's more building, I think, quick applications, which is really cool as well. Flutterflow. Mind Studio is very cool as well if you want to build your own apps. I don't know if you've checked Mind Studio. Um, the other one I mentioned, I have it somewhere on my Slack. I'd have to check it. I'll send it to you and to everybody else. But yeah, it's something like Lindy, but a bit more onto the marketing, which I think you'd enjoy that because it's very much more marketing focused. It's called, yeah, Toolflow.
Yep, got it.
Toolflow. Yeah,
Toolflow.ai.
Alfie is the founder. Interesting people as well, doing really great stuff. Yeah, I'm obsessed about tools. I'm going a little bit more on many tools, and then picking up what I think is really good. Nancy, the recording will be available, but Lindy is the early days of AI agents, and I think with GPT-5, then I think we're going to be like serious about AI agents. So it's
Yeah.
good to get ready for it and test these things out for sure. Amazing.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
So, what do you think businesses are most worried about when it comes to bringing AI into their workflow?
Biggest things, biggest things that I've seen is the first one is either they just don't know what it is, so they say no. Second thing I've seen is they really just think it's a fad. Like a lot of businesses think
Hmm.
it's a fad and it's not something to worry about and it'll die down and all of this. Um, the businesses that are excited about it, the I think the those businesses are always like the best to work with, but also it's learning how to use it and learning about all the risks, the ethics behind it, the bias, all of that, and also teaching that when you introduce it to a company, I think it also like, especially people that are very into AI, there's probably a layer of like fear that gets instilled into the company, right? Because it's like you adopt this new technology, the news is saying how it's going to replace jobs, how it's going to get you to lose your job or whatever. So when you start using it immediately in their minds, they must be worried. So having a proper strategy in place just to know how to actually integrate it without causing that fear, um, showing your actual team how to like empower them to actually use it in a better way so you can be on the safe side of it. And for those businesses that are just not using it or not prioritizing it, it's going to be interesting what happens in the next few years because like yeah, like I said in the beginning, like it's either you're in the forefront of it or you're coming in later on as a later adopter. And the cool thing as of being in the forefront, I think right now it's like a blue ocean, right? We all are creating in this space. Competition is, depending on what you're doing, competition is very minimal because it's new. Uh, I mean, there's only like 4 conversational AI platforms. Imagine in like 2 years, 3 years from now, it's gonna be like hundreds and thousands. So even ChatGPT is not the first AI chatbot, but they were the first ones to actually go viral for it. So they immediately captured more market share and now they're like this giant. Um, but yeah, I really do think that it's interesting times ahead and I think it's up to like companies to get educated.
Very well said. And I think I was very exciting because I'm like, oh, it's the first time I'm at there, I'm not late to the game, and I'm an early adopter, so I was very excited about that. And I'm like, oh yes, so great stuff. My daughter's screaming. I hope nobody can hear that. But I'd love to. I know you launched a new AI community. Can you promote that a little bit, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so we're starting to launch. It's called the 1%. Essentially, like one thing that I realized after building so many projects and building different things, I realized that one of our offers it was like work with us for 8 weeks and we'll build your systems. But I realized one of the biggest things is that AI is constantly evolving. So when we work with people for an 8 week period, they only get access to whatever information we're working on at the time. And it's not this like ongoing thing. So I figured, well, the way that we can actually have a bigger impact and people can stick with us a little bit more long term is if we actually turn this into a community. The community is more than just a community. It's more of a business ecosystem for people that want to use AI. So we're creating this ecosystem full of support with coaches that teach you how to do B2B sales, B2C sales, lead generation, email marketing, cold email. Essentially, the 3 main pillars that we're covering is AI and automation, sales, and marketing. And that's what the coaches are going to do. We're pretty much onboarding our entire course library into that. We're also giving access to Go High Level. Hello. We're also giving access to Go High Level so people don't have to pay Go High Level. And then we're giving access to pretty much, all of our trainings, some of our GPTs, and our voice agents. So it's this ecosystem where it's like as AI evolves, we're evolving with it. And other people that want to be a part of that, they can also stay in the know, they can learn, they can implement, what they're learning. And the goal is to just be 1% better every day.
Think that's incredible. That's my motto at work as well. I tell everybody we grow 1% every day. So I saw your community, I think, last night, because that's you posted about it yesterday, I think, and I was like, oh my god, love it. Because yeah, that's always been my motto at work as well, telling everybody we grow 1% every day. Just that's 37x at the end of the year. So it's like it's massive
Yeah,
growth, and people don't
the
realize that.
compounding
Yeah.
effect is incredible.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I've seen a lot of communities out there, and I've been into a couple, and I find it a bit fluff. But I'm quite excited about yours. So hopefully,
Thank you.
you'll involve me in it somehow, because I think we can do some
For
great stuff.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
incredible.
Like that's the goal. It was like, how do we make this super super valuable? Because I think a lot of the people that use communities, they use that as an entry offer for like their higher ticket stuff. But with this one, it's like we made it in such a way that it's literally everything you need for like a fraction of the cost if you were to like get each service separately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Well, good luck with that, because I was very interested about it. That's why I wanted you to promote it even here. 1%.
Thank you.
1% better every day. Absolutely. Amazing. We're almost coming to an end. I'm just double checking the questions, because we do have Q&A time normally, but we've been answering the questions as we go along. So if I'm missing anything, please just check in. No, I think we've covered most questions. Someone asked about VR assistants. I don't know what the VR assistant is. I don't know if you know what a
I don't
VR
think I've heard
assistant.
of VR assistant, virtual reality assistant, maybe. I'm not
Yeah, I
sure.
guess, or maybe a VA. They wanted to say a digital worker and a VA. I'm not
Virtual
sure.
assistant.
So yeah, so maybe they can clarify that on another comment, and then we can see if we can answer that. Okay, if not, just like a final question before. We make sure that you have all your call to actions and so on, is what's really the first step you suggest for businesses now, just after this call, for the people that are here. We had about 100 people live at some point. A lot of them, I think, are founders and entrepreneurs. What do you suggest, or what can you tell them to look out for now, or to do in AI for sales and marketing after this call today?
First thing is have an open mind and be curious. Second thing is just keep it simple. Go on ChatGPT and then just start talking to it. Um, Look up, I'm not the only one covering AI. Like there's a bunch of really talented creators covering AI. So start following more creators, start learning some prompts. But more specifically, like if you want to get the full power of it, especially if you're a founder, then just use a simple prompt like act as a marketing specialist, identify my ideal client avatar, and include pain points, desires, wants, like psychological triggers. And, my product or offer is blah blah blah, and then give me this information or markdown formatting. If you just use a prompt just like that, and you can rewind it and play it back, or you can DM me and I'll send it to you. But use a prompt just like that, and I think that will actually be, that's usually the one that I've seen people like light up and they're like, whoa, it takes me like 3 months to figure this out, or like I never know who my client avatar is. So if you're a founder, that's going to be a really easy to use, and that kind of will open up the game for you. But yeah, I can't encourage it enough. Become an early adopter, start using it, start learning, be curious, because in the next few years we're going to see big shifts, and if we're not in front of it, we're going to be at the other side of it, which is not going to be the fun side. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Not going to be the
but
fun side. I love it.
but really quick, Tim, actually, before we go, if you have a couple minutes, but I also wanted
I do,
to.
yeah.
So I heard you say that you were training your VAs with AI.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's really cool. So like when you're offering the VA service, all of them are already trained with AI and they already know all these processes.
That's correct. Yes. So we create a strategy, a 3-month strategy. And inside the strategy is basically we have systems, step-by-step systems. And each system has or a prompt, a GPT, or a different AI tool. And the frequency of how they use and when they use those systems is a strategy that we give for 3 months. We train the VA on that strategy, on those systems, on those tools. And then we deploy that into our clients. And we manage the VAs for our clients to achieve that 3-month strategy, to achieve their goals. So
Wow.
you get a VA, you get a strategist included in that.
That's amazing. That's
So
amazing. That's a really good way to get started with AI for sure.
yeah, well, thanks for asking the question. And it's interesting because we saw that AI is not ready. AI agents is not ready yet to be full fledged on their own and so on. And I don't think it's going to be ready. And a lot of people are going to be scared. They're not going to use it. But a lot of founders came to me. I'm sure like they came to you, they're like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And then I show them, or I do a webinar that shows them. I did sales for LinkedIn sales with AI with ChatGPT and stuff, and they're like, I love everything you're saying, I don't have the time, right? So then we're training these VAs, and they're helping these founders. So this is why I was saying, I think just before the call, I think there are many ways we can work together, because you have some amazing systems and processes you teach your clients, or you implement in your clients. So I think that together we can even achieve greater things and help people even further.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
That's awesome.
yeah, and I think your QR code was there. Can we have a Marketing Pros QR code back again, please, so that we can promote the amazing Izzy? Izzy, I mean, if nobody knows you here, I'll be shocked. I think everybody knows you here. And go follow Isabella Bedoya. There's another QR code somewhere there to follow her. There's one about her company, Marketing Pros. There, scan those QR codes. Izzy shares every day. She shares everything she can, as much as she has time, I think, and she's doing some great stuff. But Izzy, how can people find you? I mean, I promoted your LinkedIn and Marketing Pros, but anything else you'd like to promote here?
Thank you. Yes. Follow me on LinkedIn for sure. I post there pretty much almost every day. YouTube is something I started recently. On YouTube, I'm sharing a lot more tutorials. Definitely sharing a lot more about conversational AI, just because there's so much space on LinkedIn, you can't really do so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sharing a lot more on YouTube as well, going in depth, and really my whole goal is just to provide value. I'm always sharing like from personal experience, just so that it's easier to implement. I think I've been in social media for a while now, and I think that whatever other creators do when they're like fluffing it up or hyping it up, it always like creates this false illusion. So I just try to keep it as real and transparent so other people can do the same.
Amazing, amazing, easy. Again, thank you so much. And anyone, if you want to implement AI voice agents or anything around AI for marketing, ping Izzy, because she'll tell you if it's possible or not. And I didn't have to promote us at all. But if you need a VA, Task Drive is here for that. But I'm sure that Izzy and I are going to do some great stuff. So very soon we'll have some even extra offerings and some great stuff coming at you guys. Thank you so much, Izzy. It's been a pleasure. I hope we can repeat this soon as well.
Absolutely, that would be awesome. Thank you for having me, and thank you for all the kind words I'm seeing in the chat. So, thanks, Denny. Thanks, Nancy. Thanks
Yeah,
for being
thank you,
here.
everybody. Yeah, thank you. And again, thank you so much, Izzy. It's an
Thank you.
absolute
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Tim. Likewise.